Hey watch fans, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers. And today I have for us the TAG Heuer Carrera. This is what they refer to as the glass box edition due to that domed crystal here. Love the look of these. And the Black Bay 58 GMT. Had someone reach out directly asking if I could do a comparison. I don't know how many people would be cross-shopping these two models specifically. However, both being 39 millimeters, I think the wearability is pretty similar. And so happy to always help out when someone's looking at their next watch purchase and can't seem to get them side by side locally. Again, I'm not going to go over all of the specs. I will list all of the specs in the description, but I want to go over a couple of these. Again, both 39 millimeter cases. 13.9 millimeters thick on a TAG Heuer versus 12.9. So it is a millimeter thicker in case thickness, which can be expected with a chronograph movement versus just a GMT movement. And then 45.9. So you have not quite 46 lug tip to lug tip versus 47.6 on the GMT 58. So a little bit longer lug to lug. You can see it's more straight, a little bit more boxed or squatty compared to a little bit of curvature here on the Carrera case. So I wanted to at least give you those. Obviously, both of these on stainless steel bracelets. You do have some polished center links on the TAG Heuer, all brushed, although you do have the faux rivets on the Tudor. Moving on to the clasps, you do have a deploying style clasp, just dual push button release. No on-the-fly micro adjustability. However, you do have a half link here, and that looks like it's part of the. So you do have a half link to use for sizing on the Carrera versus on this Tudor. You are getting that T-fit micro adjustability on the fly, which is always fantastic. But again, deploying clasp with the instead of the dual push button like you do on the Carrera, you get the folding or the flip lock clam style on the Tudor. Solid stainless steel case back, again signed screw down crown on the TAG Heuer. You do have the exhibition case back, so if you want to see that movement, obviously it's there. And then you have a signed non-screw down crown on the chronograph here. So again, different functionality, chronograph versus the GMT, but you do have a date window on both, 6 o'clock versus 3 o'clock. And again, just going over some highlights of these, full description, full specs of everything will be relative to movement, power reserve, everything like that. I'll list in the description for you. But again, to me, it comes down to two things. If I was comparing these two, it's price, and that's just pure aesthetic and functionality. I don't know if you have a preference over the GMT versus the chronograph. Obviously, could sway you one way or the other. But pricing, let's talk about the pricing. The TAG Carrera is going to be $6,650 versus the 58 at $4,600. So we're just going to say, roughly $2,000 price difference, which is, I guess, a third of the glass box price, or half of the, or close to half of the Tudor. So I think pricing becomes a determining factor. Do you really like the aesthetic of the glass box? Do you want the chronograph movements? The other stat I will read off here quick, I did weigh these, 140.9 grams on the Carrera versus 155.2 on the Tudor. So let me throw these both on wrist. I will tell you from a wearing experience, the extra millimeter of case thickness does not bother me at all on this Carrera. And I think it's in part because it has the shorter lug to lug. It actually sits very flat, very flush on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. So from a wearing perspective, normally I do like thinner, smaller watches. I do find this to be very comfortable if it was sized appropriately. I actually think just comfortability wise, I actually like the way this feels on wrist right now more than I do the 58. I think many viewers and I think many folks on here are going to say the Tudor is certainly maybe the better value. I won't necessarily argue that. I think you could make a case for that, given the price difference on these two. But I do think for the Carrera, the chronograph movement, where it's at, you look at other chronographs in the market right now. You look at a Sapphire Speedy 8000, Hesalite, a little bit less, obviously. You look at all the B01 movements from Breitling, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 watches. So chronograph movements right now, I think at $6,650, I think there is some value here. And I do, again, love the sunburst dial on this. Take a look at the chrono. So I certainly think you could make a case. However, I do think many viewers here are going to let the individual that reached out say, no, it's got to be the Tudor. I can see the point there, I guess is what I can say. So I don't want to sway you one way or the other. I think both are fantastic watches. I really don't think you can go wrong with either one of these in the 39mm case. Now, let me give you a quick lume shot. As always, greatly appreciate you viewing. I hope this helps the viewer out that was looking at these to be his next watch. If I missed anything, certainly reach out. Again, I try to keep this under 5 minutes, and I've already gone over. So thanks again for viewing. If there's anything we can do for you, anything at all, contact information is in the description. We'll see you in the next video.